As I stated in earlier video, it's often easy to look at a graph and write the equation in vertex form or in factored form if you can read either the vertex or the roots really well off of the graph. But writing an equation in standard form is not as easy to do from a graph, but it's a form we normally want to have the equation in. So in this video we're going to look at that. How, if I have this equation in vertex form or in factored form, because that was the easy way to write it, how do I change that to standard form? So we're just going to go through a couple of examples of doing this. If you remember, these are our three forms of the quadratic equation we're looking at: the vertex form, the factored form, and the general form. If we look at this in the vertex form, we have this x minus h squared. We have this binomial squared. In the factored form, we're multiplying binomials together. And in the general form, we're not. We just have our general form of a polynomial with our quadratic term, our linear term, and our constant term. So basically what we're going to be doing is multiplying it out and combining like terms. So let's start with vertex form. So let's do vertex form to general form. I'll start with this equation: 3 times x minus 5 quantity squared minus 12. To start this off, I'm going to have to first square that binomial. Now, whatever you do, don't do this. X minus 5 squared is not x squared minus 5 squared. That is bad. Never do that. We can't distribute a power. It's not multiplication. We have to FOIL it out. We have to multiply it out. In this case, I'm going to do it with the Punnett square. So my first step, order of operations, I first take care of my squares. So to do my x minus 5 squared, I will make my square that has each side as x minus 5 and multiply this out. X squared, negative 5x, negative 5x, 25. And I add those terms together and I get x squared. I got negative 10x as I combine my like terms, and I have 25. That's my binomial squared. Now, from this point, let's look at the rest of the equation. So we have y equals 3 times this square, minus 12, x squared minus 10x plus 25, and I just do my distributing. 3x squared minus 30x plus 75 minus 12. And then I finally have some like terms to combine. So I get 3x squared minus 30x plus 13. Now I'm in my general form. I'm in polynomial form. I got my quadratic term. I got my linear term. I got my constant term. Also notice my a value in vertex form is 3. My a value in general form is 3. Reason I use a in both forms is because the number is the same. If you go through this and those numbers are different, you've done something wrong. Now let's look at factored form. So, to go from factored form to general form, again, I have every bunch of things multiplied together. All I'm going to do, order of operations, I'm going to multiply everything together and combine like terms. Now, remember with the fact that multiplication is commutative, I can multiply these two together first, the negative 3 and the x plus 7, then take the answer times x minus 2. Or I can multiply those two together. Doesn't matter which way I'm multiplying. I generally multiply my two binomials first and then distribute. It doesn't really matter. Now we could do this with a Punnett square like I did on the last one, but this time I'm going to do the FOIL method, because I'm already written out as the two binomials side to side. That might be a little easier to do in this form. Whichever way works for you, that's the way you should do it. But if I use FOIL, I'm going to go first times first is x squared. Multiply my outsides together, minus 2x. Multiply my insides together, 7x. Multiply my last times the last, negative 14. Don't forget, you have that negative 3 out front. So inside here, I'll combine my like terms. X squared plus 5x minus 14. And finally, I will distribute. Negative 3x squared minus 15x plus 42. And you notice, just like with the vertex form to general form, my a value is negative 3, my a value is negative 3. Again, I'm using the same letter. That means it is the same value no matter which form you're in. So that's a nice double check. So doing this, switching to general form is usually the easier way to go. What's more difficult is to go from general form to vertex form or general form to factored form. We'll look at that in another video.